This is my rig. It's a Sigma 50mm f2.8 EX fisheye, but a crop sensor, you really don't see much of the fisheye. It's an astrophysics electroscope night vision module and a Canon EOS Rebel T3i. Alright, so here's the night sky. There's a little bit of smoke from the Canadian wildfire, this being the night of July 14th, 2026. It would have been a perfect, beautiful, clear night except for the smoke. And it comes and goes. Sometimes it gets really bad and it's like dark. Now what's happening here is when you see that, I'm flipping through the ISO and the shutter speeds to see what sort of better effects I could get. The bright star that's hanging around the bottom of your screen, that's Vega and Lyra. You can see the rhombus, that's part of Lyra. So all I'm doing is just pan and scan back and forth. So I could, and up and down. So I could get more of the orbits of these things and capture them, more of them. Now the 50mm f2.8 has a small aperture, and f2.8 is fast, but it's not really fast. Oh, look at that. That's an airplane. That's definitely an airplane. Oh, you see how foggy, smoky it was? That is from the smoke. The fact that you could see the aircraft's light so much, that was from the smoke. That's how bad the smoke was. Wow. From Canada, which is like 1,000 miles away from where I live. So of course you're going to get more sky glow reflecting off the soot particles, but what can you do? So that's an airplane. When they blink like that, that's an airplane. That, who knows what that is? So I'm 35 miles northwest of New York City. I get sky glow no matter what. If it's perfectly clear out, the sky never gets dark. I used to get real country darkness, but that was when things were somewhat less developed, shall we say. So I just got to deal with it. Is that an airplane? I don't know. Is that a satellite? The dim ones that you can barely see, those are probably satellites. And they come in different sizes. Even SpaceX and Starlink. In the beginning, they were very small and weighed quite a bit less. And then they got bigger and they weigh more. And it looks like they have I've seen the videos when they're launching them, and it looks like they have shiny metal sides on them. I guess maybe that's for the sun in outer space is really hot, so maybe that's to keep it cool. I don't know. Do they spin? I would imagine they spin to stabilize them, and then they reflect the light off these shiny metal surfaces. That was blinking. It was probably a plane. Now this is so cool about the night vision module, is you can pan and scan because it's running full out. It has automatic gain control, but I'm sure it's at max right now. It's like 40, 50, or 60,000 times multiplication of the light. And here's a perfect example of sky glow. Close to the horizon, as I'm looking to the east, you can tell how much brighter it is than when you're looking near the zenith. I just adjusted to ISO again. I haven't decided which I like. You see, it's a little grainy looking here. So I don't know, do I want to keep the grain, or these videos are processed like 3 times, and every time it goes through the process, it funks it up a little bit. But the star positions are totally accurate. And then you can see the transient phenomena move through them. And that's what this is all about, transient phenomena. Of course, I'm looking for meteors, bolides, and fireballs. But what do I get? I get these little dots moving around. They're probably near Earth orbiting satellites, but, who's to say what they really are? You can't resolve them. With a pair of binoculars, they're still just dots. That's probably a plane, probably. Sky glow towards the bottom. You can see as you move up, the sky gets darker. I'm just playing with the ISO because the 15 millimeter is sort of a dark lens. It's doable, but I still haven't found what I think is the sweet spot. And I like the fact that the sky's black or dark and the stars are bright, but you know, if I just boost it a little bit, see a little bit extra stars, I would sacrifice contrast. But see how many there are? Lots and lots of them. I'm playing with the ISO, I'm sorry. I use ISO 800 and 1600, and I try 3200. Now, my camera will let me do fractional ISOs, but in movie mode, it only does it for full stop. So it goes from 800 to 1600, 3200, and nothing in between. Like I can't use 1250 or 2000, which would be more of a fine-tuning. But that's not the night vision. That's the camera and the chip in the camera. So the night version is going flat out. And depending on the ISO, I can either make it you know, really dark or really light. And now the night vision tube is inherently noisy. It has a lot of specular noise, but it's totally random. But the stars, you know, as I pan around, you see the stars, they don't pick a fence, they don't wink in and out, you know, they don't get dark and bright, although there's some vignetting in the corners. That's from the lens. You know, sometimes you get a lot of them. All right, this is July. At 9:30, there's still a hint of twilight out. So this thing is sensitive enough to pick it up. So the thing is, it's like 9:15 is probably the earliest I could go out. Then it doesn't run it until I fill my card up, 32 gigabytes. That usually takes me to 11:30. Now, that's the best time to see these things in orbit, but it's not the best time to see the most amount of meteors. What happens is after midnight, your position on the Earth is moving in the direction the Earth is spinning. So it'll tend to scoop up, that's the airplane, it'll tend to scoop up more meteors than early in the evening when you're sort of on the backside. It's like when you're driving on the highway and you know, you're going to splatter a bug on your windshield, but you're not going to get too many bugs on your rear window. That's the same concept. Now that's Cygnus, is right by those trees, Cygnus, the cross, and that's right below Vega and Lyra. So if you had a star chart, you could compare things. Now the amount of stars I'm seeing is more than I can see with the eye. Maybe on the darkest of nights 20 years ago, I could see all these stars by eye. But, you know, maybe out of all the stars that are in this field of view, I can only see 5 by eye. This night vision tube is like 20 years old. I don't know how long they last. I guess I'm going to find out. I had to pay the going rate back in 2007 or something. Of course, now, you know, the Taliban has a whole warehouse full of them. I wish they would sell them on eBay, like for $50. I'd buy one. But then it has the special adapter that goes on the camera. But, you know, what can you do about that? Nothing. This would be really, really hard to do with a regular mirrorless or DSLR camera. So it's this old technology, but it works really good. Now I do see this thing is so dim that it doesn't see dim meteors, this lens, but it will see the bright ones. And whereas a powerful lens that's very bright, it may oversaturate these bright meteors. This thing's will keep it without like this clipping the highlights. But you know, I haven't seen any. Nope, not at all. Here it's July. You'd think I'd be seeing some Perseus meteors, and there's a lot of fireballs in the Perseus meteor stream. And Perseus would be right below the horizon right now, so they would be shooting up from the bottom of the screen, but no, I don't see any. Nope, not at all. I guess I should change my lifestyle and go to bed like right at 9:30 and get up at like 2:30 and then set up my gear and look for meteors in the morning. But often you got stuff to do you have to do in the morning. Even if you're retired, you want to go to a store or something, or banking. And I like to go out right after rush hour is over, but before lunchtime, because where I live, traffic is pretty much horrible all the time. Oh, you see that? It was bright and then it got dim. Remember I spoke about this in another one when I was using the 28mm f1.8? So that is a type of aerial phenomena where it comes in bright and then all of a sudden the brightness drops off. So I don't know what that is. This is the way they shine the lights. Like the plane we saw in the beginning, where the lights were shining through the fog. But that thing was low. It was getting ready to land. But if you're up so far that you just look like a dot, why would you need those bright-ass lights on? You know what I'm saying? Look, there's another one as a perfect example. Now, if that airplane was like 5 miles up, would it look like a bright dot? I don't know. I don't know what the rules of the road are for lights in the sky. So that's Vega, sort of in the middle of the screen, and then the little rhombus to the lower right, that's the rest of it. See, there's a lot of dim ones, and this one's just barely capturing them. And the fact that it's a little bit hazy, maybe it's summer, just not making it for us to view. So this is like a 90-minute segment. I filled up my if I fill up my 32 gigabyte memory card, that's 90 minutes. And then maybe I clip out the first one or the last one because sometimes they're only, they're not the full 5 minutes, maybe they're only 1 minute, so I just clip them. But it's about 90 minutes. You see the sky got somewhat dark just in the time we were watching. It was really dark now. The sky is full of all these satellites. Usually there's planes early on, and then the closer you get to midnight, there's less planes. Now, some are moving slow and some are moving fast. Now, you would think that the ones moving fast are closer to you and the ones moving slow are further away from you. But that depends on their intrinsic velocity. You could go out any night and see this for yourself. You don't have to wait. That's an airplane. You don't have to wait for some guy to post a video. Of course, the bugs are horrible, or you don't know if there's wild animals that are going to sneak up and bite you in the butt, stuff like that. So it's hard to get comfy in your reclining chair. And even at night, during a heat wave, it's uncomfortable with the humidity. Now, when I had a job, I was always getting up early to go to my job, so I just get up an hour early and set everything up an hour. But now, being retired, it's very, so we say, casual about everything. Now, you should be able to see the Milky Way there. The Milky Way goes through Vega and Lyra and Cygnus. There's Cygnus towards the bottom of the screen there. And see, they're all over, coming in onesies and twosies, and it never ends. And there's going to be more and more and more.